Today I fucked up by almost recreating a moment from a Hannibal Lecter novel. The principal antagonist of Hannibal, the sequel novel and film to The Silence of the Lambs, was Mason Verger, one of the few surviving victims of Hannibal Lecter. Mason wanted revenge against Lecter for persuading him to cut pieces of his own face off while under the influence of drugs. There's a reason I bring up that character. Lately, I've been accidentally biting the inside of my cheeks while eating. Sometimes the bite will create a blood blister that feels like an annoying, pea-sized hard ball inside my mouth. Usually, I'll just reach into my mouth and pop it with my fingernail for instant relief. This doesn't hurt that much, and the dangling skin left by the burst blister is similar to a pizza burn on the roof of your mouth. About an hour I don't even notice the blister was even there. A couple of days ago, after feeling like a marble was stuck inside my cheek, I realized that once again I had bitten myself during lunch. Sometimes, like on this occasion, my fingernail was unable to pop the blister, so I went to the bathroom to use some tweezers. I knew the blister had to be big this time, but looking at my reflection in the mirror I was amazed at the size, which was at least a centimeter in diameter. I reached in with the tweezers and pulled it open, and despite all the blood, it felt instantly better. As expected, there was a lot of dangling skin, which I do today I fucked uply tried pulling away with the tweezers. This time, though, extracting the torn skin completely proved difficult, and the more I pulled off, the more I bled. After growing impatient of spitting blood in the sink, I stopped picking at it, stuffed some cotton in my mouth and went back to my computer. The bleeding finally stopped and I spit out the cotton, but the dangling skin was really annoying and kept nagging me. After a while, I unconsciously began reaching into my mouth to pull out loose skin. While it did hurt a little, it wasn't exactly excruciating. I suffer occasional kidney stones, and that can give you a different perspective toward pain. So for about half an hour, I rooted around my cheek, yanked loose skin out and flicked the tiny bits of white flesh onto the carpet next to my desk like you would with a piece of food stuck in your teeth. While I tasted blood, it wasn't overpowering, so I didn't think much of it. Finally stopped picking at my cheek after it started to actually hurt. Those who watch true crime dramas on television are likely familiar with the term bloodstain pattern analysis. During a violent crime, it's common for the victim's blood to splatter on the walls or ceiling, depending upon the weapon used, thus allowing forensic investigators to read the crime scene. The reason bloodstain pattern analysis popped into my mind shortly after picking at my cheek is because I happened to glance at the white wall next to my desk and discovered it had a nice pattern of fresh blood stains. Apparently, my cheek had been bleeding worse than I thought, and every time I had pulled a piece of skin out and shook it off my finger, I was also hitting my wall with flecks of blood. Much too late did the realization hit me that I should not have pulled a Dwarves of Moria type maneuver by delving too greedily and deep, because instead of a centimeter-sized scrape on the inside of my cheek, there was now a full inch of peeled, exposed flesh, and it started to hurt a lot. The next morning I awoke and could barely open my mouth. It's been 3 days since then, and while it's definitely healing, my cheek is still swollen and I can only comfortably chew on one side of my mouth. Too long didn't read. I made a blood blister on the inside of my cheek much worse by unconsciously picking at it, and created a mini crime scene with blood drops on the wall next to my desk. Please tell me you're on antibiotics now? From the sound of what he did, I doubt he even went to the hospital after the incident. Welcome to the museum, friend. You could have picked at a salivary gland duct rather than a blood blister. Please go get it checked out, sounds quite serious. I did this with a bag of warheads in middle school. I brought a fresh bag of warheads to school one morning and I was popping them at a good rate all day. I had eaten about 3/4 of the bag by 4th or 5th period when I realized my right cheek was stinging really bad. I thought about it and I realized I had been letting the warheads sit in between my lower gums and my right cheek all day. I reached in my mouth and I started to wipe huge chunks of skin out of my mouth with my finger. I did this for a while until it started to to bleed. It definitely left a good-sized hole in my cheek for a couple of days, and as you said, I couldn't chew food on the right side of my mouth for almost a week. My right cheek is more rough and bumpy than my left to this day. I literally did this exact same thing earlier this year when my wife was hospitalized, only with cinnamon gum. I was stuck sitting with her for hours in her room and kept popping fresh pieces of gum into my mouth as the flavor ran out of the old sticks. Before I knew it, the inside of my cheek was blistered because I tend to leave gum in the same spot you describe. Go to a doctor, my dude. Today I fucked up by holding my sister at knife point when my mom came home. Firstly, I swear that I'm not a violent person, but in a life or death situation, I will employ whatever means necessary. Today my mom was gone grocery shopping, leaving just my younger sister, 18F, and I in the house. I was up pretty late at a party before I came home, so I was sleeping in until about noonish. One thing you need to know is that my sister is deathly afraid of spiders, like no one I've ever seen. So I'm sleeping still at about 12:30 p.m. and suddenly hear an ear-splitting scream. I sit up immediately, but I'm in that sleepy stage where I have no idea if what I heard was real. I ponder this for a few moments before deciding, nah, it's just some sleep paralysis thing, probably. Well, then I begin to hear a heavy, hard banging against something solid. It sounds like the front door to our house. I hear another scream and know for real this time, something bad is happening. I'm still groggy with sleep and a hangover, but it sounded exactly like someone was trying to break in. I run down the stairs to the kitchen and grab the largest knife we have. I start yelling my sister's name since I haven't seen her anywhere in the house. I hear a sobbing sound and know it's her, and fuck, no one's gonna hurt my sister while I'm in the house. So I run down the stairs, jumping about 4 at a time, knife in my hands, when I land on the basement floor, pointed and ready to murk a bitch. I spy my sister and run at her, one arm out to protect her from whoever broke in. I yell in her face with a giant knife pointed at her, "What's going on? Where are they?" My sister looks even more scared out of her wits, with her manic older sister pointing a knife at her, accidentally, and screaming in her face. And right then, the front door to the house opens. Basement stairs connects to the front porch, and we were at the bottom of the basement stairs. So my mom walks in, groceries in her hands, to see me holding my sister at knife point with a scary expression. Needless to say, she wasn't very happy. The reason my sister screamed and made banging noises is because there was a spider in the sink/tub/basin in the basement, and she tried whacking it with a boot, but it leapt at her instead. Hence the heavy banging and screams. Too long didn't read, woke up to screaming and banging, thought there was a break-in, grabbed a knife to protect my sister, ended up pointing it a bit too close to her right when our mom walked in. What really happened was my arachnophobic sister saw a spider and screamed before trying to beat it with a boot. So what was the aftermath? This is a story that is going to be retold in your family for ages. Well, first my mom called me by my full name, all 3 words. Then she dropped the groceries and ran down the stairs faster than I've ever seen. The whole time I was babbling and trying to explain what was happening. When I told her about the sounds I heard, my sister confessed to making them when she saw the spider. Mom still wasn't happy. You were being a good sister at the wrong time. So what was scarier for your sister? The spider or the suddenly turned psychopath sister? Absolutely the spider. Did the spider escape? Lol, this is the kinda shit I'd end up doing. Try to be the hero and end up looking like a crazy person. Today I fucked up by putting a 2-liter And Mentos up my ass. Sounds bad, let me explain. For the past few months, I've been having extremely terrible constipation issues. For this I've done literally everything. Fiber supplements, poop-inducing medicine, prune juice. Basically everything to do with helping your body naturally move along. After a month or 2 of nothing working, and eventually seeing blood in my stool, I decided to go to the ER. My doctor took a few x-rays, showed me the block up, and prescribed me with this liquid medicine that was supposedly a super pooper medicine. Can't remember the name. It was a small bottle of clear liquid that tasted absolutely terrible. I took the bottle, and lo and behold it didn't work. Yet again. Fast forward a week later on, I'm looking up things that can help, and I come up with the brilliant idea of cleaning out my ass like porn stars do to get ready for anal. I'm a genius. right? No. Instead of spending lots of money on a fancy cleaning tool for myself, I decide that a case of this magnitude needs some proper force and UMPH to really dislodge everything up there. I go to the store and come home with some fruity Mentos and a 2 liter of Diet Coke. I'll spare you the gritty details, but I hop in the shower, pop the Mentos, and quickly push the 2 liter top into my ass as fast as I could. At first I didn't feel anything, the next moment my stomach pains stop. For you inflation fetishists, it was not like that, please stay away. I push the 2 liter away and begin to push the soda out of my ass, immediately feeling relief from the stomach pains and constipation. Fucking awesome. Right? Managed to fix my problem with a pretty dumb idea. Well, yes and no. Remember, I've been constipated for months. I've only pooped maybe half of what should have been going, so when I look down onto my bathtub floor I am standing in a mixture of water, blood, shit, and delicious Coca-Cola. The walls of my shower are coated in Coke. I tried to mash all the shit down the drain, but it took a good 20 minutes to do so. I fear going in that shower again. Even after bleaching the whole thing I still feel gross and gritty standing on the tub floor and am contemplating shower sandals. All this happened about a week ago, and frankly I've had no bowel issues since. For the first time in months, my stomach doesn't hurt and my poops are normal, but I'm terrified of my bathroom. Too long didn't read, couldn't poop, did a deep cleanse with the 2 liters and Mentos, will never be clean again. I'm going to need the men in black to set their mind wipe for 5 minutes for me. Coca-Cola. I'm no medical professional. Oh wait, yes I am. Dude. You could have done some serious damage. Hello Drive. Medical professional. I would like to inform you that at where I was extremely desperate to get rid of it all and was fully prepared to die as I am American. Edit, when I said as I am American I was referring to USA's terrible costly healthcare and not trying to come off as I'm American. Nothing can hurt me. I feel as though I should gouge my eyes out now. Complimentary spoon, sir? I am so glad you chose fruit Mentos over mint. Now the mint ones are for eating, not for popping in your ass, duh.